Hey guys, all right, we are back with a concealer. I have got today the Morphe Filter Effect Soft Radiance Concealer, okay? I hope this works out. I just really do. I've talked about this so many times in the past, but the Morphe Fluidity Concealer, which was their original concealer that they came out with, is really good. It's got good coverage, doesn't look crusty. It's just a really good concealer. I really like it and have used it for a very long time now. I don't know how long, but long. So I'm hoping that this is like that, but better. So we'll see what happens. I have it in the shade Light 8 Warm. The Fluidity, the shades don't coincide, but the Morphe Fluidity one is the shade C1.65. And who knows? Shall we do a swatch? Let's do a swatch. The Fluidity one, I've had it for a really long time. It's sort of on the peachier side to sort of color correct, but it's very brightening. It's just nice. It just looks nice on my under eyes. So that's that. This one might be a little bit darker. Oh, nope, they're almost exactly the same shade. So woo woo for that. All right, this is the Morphe Fluidity. This is the one we're trying today, the Filter Effect Soft Radiance. So I don't think that the original Fluidity is remarkably matte on my under eyes, but I think the idea with this is that it's supposed to be a bit more radiant maybe. I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know. That's just what I'm guessing. Let's take a look at some of the claims on the box, shall we? Filter Effect Soft Radiance Concealer. Let's see if I can get a natural finish with this radiant concealer infused with hyaluronic acid. And that's really all it says. So, okay, soft radiance, that's what we're looking for. So the shade is almost identical. So we'll see how well this works. I feel like we might be getting a little bit of oxidation, so we'll just see. The doe foot looks fine. Okay, this might work out good. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna use this today. They sent me also, I ordered this from Ulta, and there was a free gift with purchase, which was the Morphe M173 Chubby Buffer Brush. So free gift with purchase for that, so yay, we're gonna try it. All right, so I feel like that's a lot of product. So it looks to me like this is really going a long way. The brush is fine. It seems a little bit small. I feel like I've tried that brush though. I'm going to take this brush. Well, no, I'm gonna take a different brush. This one, I believe. This is the Chic Pro highlighter brush. This is sort of the brush that I would normally use for a concealer. So I'm just gonna, I feel like it will pick up any excess product and just sort of buff it out, you know. The problem that I have is I like really thin layers. And so that might tend to buff some of the product away, but I can't just have a big old bunch of product on there. It's not going to look good in the end. Like on camera, you know, people might be like, what are you doing? It looked better before. What are you doing? What are you doing? But in real life, it will just look like I've got a smear of unblended concealer if I leave too much on, okay? Right, it looks okay. The shade is kind of weird on my mostly natural skin. I do have a bit of something on this side of my face, but it's very sheer coverage sort of product, so it's making a contrast between the shade of the concealer, and I honestly feel like it's too dark even for the color correcting and counteracting of all that other stuff. So it seems a little bit too dark for my under eyes, but the product itself is, let's do the other eye with the Fluidity and we'll just see. We'll get a real-time comparison. This side of my face has a product that has tiny bit more coverage than the other. So let's just see. I will use this brush. This is the Flower, I think it's like angled concealer brush or something like that. So let's just try it. Okay, this is more brightening on this side. seems a little bit lighter on this side as well. I don't know. I feel like as just a first impression, I like the Fluidity one better. Could be shade though. Yeah, it could be shade. I don't know why, because they look almost exactly the same. This is the Fluidity and this is the Filter Effect. This one just seems a bit more sheer, just like a touch. So I think as a first impression, shade really matters. Depending on what you need covered. Like, I like the look of this eye better because I feel like it's covering more. There is a bit of light reflection right here. This is not coverage. This is more like light reflection. So I feel like for me, and take this into consideration, ladies, if you don't have as much to cover as I do, then this might be your girl. If the texture is just really what's going to make your makeup look the best, then you might like this one a little bit better. I can't say that the texture of this is something like they're both light reflective, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just surprised at how differently the color is looking on this side compared to this side, because they seem like the same color. It's just, I don't know, it's really weird. It's really weird. For me, this one's working out better. But again, like if you don't have as much to cover as I do, you might like a product like this. Just from my experience right now, I'm gonna have to go with the original Fluidity is better for my under eye needs. So, and I wouldn't be able to test this on facial concealing because I can't use this dark shade on the rest of my face. So, but for under eyes, this one wins out. I will, however, wear this for the rest of the day. I will update my thoughts in the description. If you are looking for a concealer that is less expensive, more readily available, I would suggest the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Very nice, hydrating. I don't like the original one. And it does have good coverage, but if you don't need as much coverage, it's like a $6 concealer. It's really nice. I can't wear it very often, this one, because it's a little bit too light for my under eyes and it just makes them look gray and it just doesn't look good. It does cover, but it just doesn't look good. And it's just the shade for this one. But you can use like the tiniest bit of this and still get a really good natural look if you don't need it or don't need as high pigment or don't have as much to cover, but it's still readily available, inexpensive from the drugstore. Also, I did like the Megalast Incognito from Wet n Wild. It's a bit more matte, and I'll give you guys a swatch. I think this is the lightest shade for the Wet n Wild. It is the shade Light Beige, and I'll give you a swatch also of the shade that I have of the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and then you can kind of see what I mean about shades. Okay, so this one is the e.l.f. This is the Wet n Wild. So e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, e.l.f. or Wet n Wild Incognito, and then this is the Morphe Filter Effect, and then this is the Morphe Fluidity. Okay, you can kind of see like this one mattes down a bit more than this one does. This one also I feel like is a natural finish, but it's a bit more matte. This one's really natural as well. Like, they're not remarkably like glowy and dewy, any of these, I feel like. They do, however, they don't, all of these I feel like don't dry down to a crusty matte. If you would like a more matte, then I suggest this one. This is the LA Colors Ultimate Cover Concealer. This is matte, but at the same time, it doesn't look crusty, at least on my under eyes. So it dries down matte. No, this does not have any reflect at all. I have it in the shade, does it say? It's got to say on here somewhere. Wheat, CC913 Wheat. This does oxidize, and I'll give you a swatch of this as well. This is like a $3 to $5 concealer. This is going to oxidize on me. This is great tone, honestly, for color correcting for me. This is going to oxidize to about one of these two shades okay, but it does dry down matte. And for me, that actually works out pretty good because the more light that reflects under my eyes, the more you're gonna notice all my wrinkles and bags and all that stuff. So I usually like my under eye concealer to be a bit more on the matte side, and really inexpensive. I don't know. For today, not impressed, or not overly impressed, I should say. And my hopes were a bit higher for this product, but I will wear this for the rest of the day. I will update my thoughts in the description. And don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe, ding my bell, and I'll see you in the next one.